Hi everybody, it's Eric with Bad Apple Tactical. Today we're going to be reviewing the Hyve Technologies Monarch trigger for the Glock 43. This trigger is going to come just like this. It's pretty simple packaging. There's the actual trigger. It's trigger bar, so it's a complete trigger assembly here, ready to install. Just pretty much plug and play with it. It's going to come with the Hyve Technologies disclaimer card. And then also inside the packaging, you'll get a very small Allen wrench. I'm not sure what size this is going to be, but there are a couple adjustments on this trigger that this would be used for. I think it's going to be like a pre-travel and a reset adjustments. With this trigger, I have not at all touched the factory settings the way it came. I shot it the way it came, and it worked pretty well for me, so I didn't find any reason to adjust anything. So you're going to have an adjustment up front there, and you're going to have an adjustment here on the bottom if the trigger's oriented like such. So one right there and one right there. So and there's two other Allen keys right here, or Allen heads right here. One is to actually put the trigger onto the trigger bar. The other one is going to put it holds the trigger safety in, so it's able to break it down, really clean it if you need to. We'll set this aside for a second. So here's my Glock 43 with this is with the factory Glock trigger. As you can see, I got a few different Hyve products on here. So first off, we're going to unload and make safe this weapon. Magazine's empty. Set that aside. Clear the chamber. It's empty. Point in a safe direction, and okay. So this weapon is definitely safe. First off, you're going to notice, like I said, this is the factory Glock trigger. The factory Glock 43 trigger, which is a very good trigger in my opinion. I've never had an issue out of it. I love this trigger. I know they started using this same trigger on the Gen 5 Glocks, because this 43 was it was released about the same time, or this one I bought it about the same time that the Gen 4 first came out. Like I said, I love this trigger, but after shooting the Hyve trigger for a while, there's a couple things I noticed right off the bat here. First off is the pre-travel you get on the Glock trigger. I mean, you get about a 1/4 inch of pre-travel before you are at the wall, and then you hit the wall and you pull through on your trigger. Slow, steady squeeze here. It's a pretty solid wall, but it's still kind of mushy compared to what I want to show you guys with this Hyve trigger. Then get your trigger reset. So guys, they still got a nice trigger reset on them, and I'm not over here trying to do a trigger review on the Glock 43's stock trigger. I'm just kind of giving you guys a comparison here. So the trigger reset on the factory trigger is definitely, it's audible. You can hear it, you can feel it, you know it's there, and it works well. And you don't have, your trigger doesn't travel very far to get to the reset position. Like I've noticed on some different handguns, such as Smith & Wessons, I noticed that you have a lot of travel going back to the reset position. Now I'm going to teach you guys how to take this thing down and take the trigger out, and I'm going to show you how simple it is to install the Hyve Technology trigger the way it comes. So I'm going to press the trigger here, drop the slide, set the slide right over here. Sorry about that. And I do not have my Glock punch with me right now. I don't know where it went. Okay. So like I said, I don't have my Glock punch, so I'm using my a small Torx bit. If you're careful when you do it, it should be just fine. So as you saw me, I removed the 2 pins, the locking block pin and the trigger. I think that's the trigger block, the trigger housing, block pin in the back. As you see, the locking block trigger, the locking block one's got some grooves in it. The other one is just a flat plastic bar. To remove that front trigger or that front bar, all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your slide lock. It's got a spring on it. You're gonna push it down. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but you're able to push that down. Push it down towards the bottom of the pistol, and that's when you're gonna push your pin from the left side of the handgun out to the right side. Same with the back one. The back one just slides on out. Take your little pry tool, pop the locking block up, just enough to pull it out. You'll take your slide lock, take it out, and then now you should be able to pull up here, and your whole trigger assembly is going to come out. And if you're in a hurry, this is actually really, really fast and simple and quick. So there's your Glock 43 trigger. Set that aside, keep that in a safe place because you might need it one day. So what you're going to do now is, this is where you guys are going to be kind of shocked on how simple this is. And this is not just a Hyve thing. This is any of these aftermarket triggers that come with the trigger bar. I'm just showing you guys how simple it is to do this. So here's what you're going to be looking at before you install. You want to get that front tab under that lip right there. So you got to put it in kind of at an angle. Bam. And then put that left tab, kind of push it down and over to where it slides in just like so. And you want to make sure this back tab here is under that little lip. So it's going to look just like this. And then you're going to take it, and you're just going to set it right back into the pistol like so. Drop everything down. You got your spring tension there. That's good. Put your slide lock back in. Now I did this one time, and I forgot to put the actual slide, the locking block back in. I felt pretty dumb. I noticed it right away, but still, I felt pretty dumb. So don't do that. And you want to make sure you push down on the trigger and the slide lock there, because you want to make sure that hole is open as much as you can. Like I said, slide in from the left to the right, or to the right to the left now, since we're going back in. You're going to hear it click, and that's in. And do the same here on the back. Try to get that about as even as you can. Like so. That's what it's going to look like inside your Glock 43 or whatever model you have. I'm going to put my slide back on. Okay. Okay, so first off, I think it looks good. It's a very clean looking trigger. Trying to keep that Hyve thing there. It's a very clean looking trigger. It's a flat face trigger. We're going to touch on that here in a minute. But first off, the first thing I noticed, even with just dry firing it, is right there, you're at the wall. So remember with the Glock 43 trigger, we went from being about a 1/4 inch of a trigger pull till now. I mean, I'd say we're about 1/8 of an inch if that, and we're at the wall. And that wall is a very solid, smooth trigger pull. Where the 43 trigger it was a little mushy even on the pull. This trigger is just a very smooth, consistent trigger pull. That's the word I was looking for. Is consistent. You're gonna hear the wall. You're gonna hear the trigger break, and then we'll go for the trigger reset. Still just a nice, audible trigger reset. You can hear it. You can feel it in your finger. That flat face trigger, I mean, that's nice for getting your proper positioning on that trigger finger. I feel like sometimes with the 43 trigger, with that roundedness on it, you can kind of be anywhere on it. If you go from a quick draw from the holster to a ready gun, you can kind of almost get it anywhere, and most guys are going to know how to adjust for that. But with this flat face trigger, I mean, I always felt like with this flat face trigger that I was in the same spot every single time. And I don't know if it's just a muscle memory thing over time. This trigger did take a little bit time to get used to. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't like it took me 3 trips to the range. I mean, it was about an hour at the range to where I was comfortable with what I was doing with it. It's a little different, especially if you're used to just doing nothing but shooting the Glock 43 with the regular trigger, or any type of Glock with the factory trigger. Let's straighten this camera out a little bit. There we go. I took this thing to the range for about 6 times, and I would say I probably put anywhere from 800 to just shy of 1,000 rounds. That's the props of the range of the department that I work for. They give us that opportunity to go to the range. This is actually an off-duty carry gun for me. And the reason that I'm able to use it as an off-duty carry gun is because the cool thing about the high technology trigger is that it does not reduce the poundage of the trigger pull. I know my department, I'm not sure about all departments, but I know my department, you cannot have a trigger that's less than the factory Glock poundage. And this does not change anything. All this does is just changes the, the only thing you're noticing with the actual trigger pull effect is you just have not that much more. You have about half the pre-travel as you normally would. So like I said, I put about 800 to 1,000 rounds, just shy of 1,000 rounds through it. Did not have one issue. I shot this thing in the rain. I shot it in the heat. I shot it in when it was windy, blowing up dust. Because of the range that we shoot at is not the cleanest range in the world. I mean, it's got a lot. It's heavy with dirt, gravel, like almost like a white powdery dirt, and it's terrible on these weapons. And I took it a few times. I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 times that I shot it in the rain, between the rain and the heat, and just being dirty. I had this thing. This thing was dirtier than hell, and I didn't clean it because I wanted to try to get this thing to fail, because I wanted to get back to Hyve and tell Hyve, hey, I was able to get a misfire, but even if I got a misfire, it wouldn't have been through the trigger. It's just I wanted to go back to Hyve and tell them, hey, I had an issue while shooting with your trigger, and I didn't have one issue with this trigger whatsoever. And that's a testament to Glock, and obviously to the quality of the products that I have put on this gun, such as with the Hyve products I have put on it. And what else have we not touched on yet? Just the quality of this thing. There's, like I said, as many rounds I put through this thing, there's not one scratch, nick, mar on this trigger, on the anodizing of this trigger. I'm not very big on having different colors on my weapons, but I went ahead and got the red because I was like, if I'm gonna do a review on it, I at least want to touch on the quality of the anodizing. And Hyve does a very good job of anodizing their triggers, because these things you can get it fully customizable. You can get different whatever color shoe you want, and matched with whatever color safety you want. This one's just a black safety with the red shoe, and I think it looks really good on this custom build of mine. These triggers, they retail for just shy of $100. I think Hyve Technologies website, you could buy them for $97 and some change, and pay for shipping. You can order them at hyvetechnologies.com. I'm gonna actually pull the business card up here, and they don't just tend to Glocks. You could get stuff for your Rugers, your Sigs, your Smith & Wessons, and obviously your Glocks. They make a variety of products such as mag extensions. I got a mag release button on mine. I trust this product. I trust the brand, and I appreciate Mike at Hyve Technologies for sending me this trigger to do this review. I apologize it took me so long to get it done. I was really just finding time, going to the range here and there, but really wanted to get a good review of what I noticed out of it. If I could find any flaws in it, and that's the thing, I didn't find any flaws in this trigger. This thing has been absolutely amazing. I would spend the $100 and put this on every handgun that I own, and just because I feel like it's a quality and a sound investment to put on your weapon. If you're looking to upgrade anything, and you want to look into upgrading the trigger, I think that this thing has done wonders. It's just the aesthetics of it, the feel of it, the performance of it is bar none. And again, I think Hyve Technologies has knocked it out of the park with this trigger. So thanks again to Mike at Hyve Technologies for sending me this thing, and hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for more reviews. Thank you.